parent or expecting to be or going to be one in the future, this is something that we always worry about and are concerned about. So love to share tips, wealth building tips for everyone, because we all wish we learned some of these wealth building tips sooner. Hey, Sweetness, thank you. So you can also ask me anything real estate related, maybe project highlights, investments, anything like that as well when it comes to building wealth. So today's live is really meant for me to talk about how to raise rich kids, which, as you learn more, you get better at your finances, you always want to help that next generation level up. And so this is really where the inspiration came for putting together a guide that is easy to use, gives actionable steps, and really is at the heart of why I wanted to start building wealth, is to leave a legacy for my kids, to make sure that they have something, because inflation is getting out of control right now. But imagine when our kids get older. And even if you're not a parent yet, you have nieces and nephews, maybe even if you're thinking about being a parent one day, there are just some things that you want to start setting up for them so they have kind of a leg up. Hey, Sunny, happy Tuesday. Yes, happy to learn for my daughter. Hey, Bob. Yes, so just FYI, on some of the platforms, I am on my desktop, so I can't see who is logging in or who is watching unless you leave a comment. So please comment below, like this live, like Chris did. Thanks on TikTok, a bunch of likes, but I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. So this is my series where I go live once a week on all the platforms. Hey, Junior. I go live on all the platforms to answer your questions directly. And on all the different platforms, I'm posting every single day different types of content. On Facebook, it's more written content, on LinkedIn as well. On TikTok and Instagram, it is more shorts and quick educational tips. And then on YouTube is longer form videos. So I want to keep, giving free education as well as offering other opportunities to work with me. But this is really to connect with you guys and answer some of your questions and give you more, I guess, in-depth answers. So thank you guys again for spending your time with me on this lovely Tuesday. Good morning from Waikoloa, Fit by Kitty. Hey, Fit by Kitty. So we actually will be on the Big Island next week. We are going to be there for the tax auction happening. And if you're at all interested in attending or bidding, I highly recommend you do your research beforehand. We've seen so many people go to tax auctions and just bid because they think the properties are cheap. But oftentimes these properties come with liens. There might be people living on them, so you might have to deal with eviction. So there's definitely opportunities to buy houses, buy land at a discount using these off-market strategies, but we highly recommend you do your own research. And if you are interested in getting further information about that, you can message me the word tax auction, and we do have a workshop coming up this Saturday that will teach you all about it. Jess says hello from Arizona. Hey. Hey, Tim, Mona, Tony, Raymond. So we'll just be getting started in just a moment. And really, this is just more so to talk story, answer your questions as we go, and to really just talk about things that we're concerned about, especially right now, that's happening in today's market, not yesterday's market, not years and years ago, but to help you set up the next generation using strategies that work right now. So, if you're not following me though on the different platforms, make sure you do. Like I said, I share different types of content on financial education, on wealth building, on investing in real estate. And now, more so than ever, simple steps to get the next generation started investing or to have you help set up your kids, especially if they're at a younger age, start setting them up now, because those are things that I wish I would have started earlier, but we're starting right now. And I did do some of this stuff with my first daughter. I got pregnant at 19, so I had her very early on. But it wasn't until maybe about she was 10 years old that I really started thinking about her future, started building her credit, added her on as an authorized user to my credit cards, and doing some research online. So even though I was younger, I was still able to do these little things that set her up for success now that she's 19, almost 20 years old. So I guess quick question then for you guys is, hey Daniel, is what are you already doing right now to set your kids up financially? I think that might help some people too, or just know where you're at. Or if you're not, you're still trying to figure it out, put that in the chat as well. So I kind of know where you guys are at with setting them up. Oh, Jess said me too. Yeah, having kids young doesn't set you behind, but it does make you have to react quicker as well as grow up a lot faster. So it was definitely a learning experience, trying to do things young, like being a baby and then having a baby, basically. But makes you that much stronger. Okay, Jess said she added her kids as authorized users on her accounts, telling them to use a high yield savings account instead of traditional savings. Hey, Maui, Angela, Nelly. Aloha, Lauren. So these are all good things that we talk about, and definitely knowing the sequence of when to do these things is important as well. And there are also regulations on, especially some of the things that I will be talking about for your kids, like for different IRA accounts or different retirement investments to make contributions. They technically have to have a job or have some sort of income. So those are things that you have to know before you just jump in and create an account for them and start putting money in it, because then it might defeat the purpose of it being tax free, or them having all the benefits because you're just putting money into a retirement account for them, not knowing what those regulations are or getting the most benefits out of them. So in the ebook, I talk about, it's called Raise Rich Kids, which I just put out because some of my content that was going viral had to do with setting up your kids for the future. Millionaire Mom 1, 2, and 3, or Parent 1, 2, and 3. So give a thumbs up or like if you guys like that sort of content where it's comparing one person doing things one way and then another person doing things another way. Do you guys like that sort of content where it's comparing so you can kind of see yourself? Sweetness is that thumbs up. Junior. Yeah, I think when it comes to that type of content, I feel like it resonates because people can see themselves in one side or the other, or like a mixture of the two. So I like when there's three different people, parent one is working their job, telling their kids to save, but not really setting them up. You have parent two who is in the middle, kind of trying to set their kids up, maybe having them put money in a savings account and talking to them about money and just what's the importance of what percentage you save, what percentage you invest, and then what percentage that you can actually spend, because you want your kids also to have fun with money, right? Like not be so frugal with it or be so restricted. I know growing up I was, because we barely had anything. So there wasn't really much else to spend. We had to go out there and make money, sell candy, sell spam musubis at school when you're not supposed to. I'm not condoning that. But we hustled. We had garage sales. Our parents weren't home. We had car washes. Luckily, I had siblings. So we are always trying to find extra ways to make money. And that was like in elementary school. But we knew that if we wanted something, we had to work for it. And I think that's super important when you have that tie, especially when you're a kid, to the value of money. And that's something that I had to learn as I had kids and as I built my wealth. And so for those who don't know, I invest in real estate. Prior to this, I was a civil engineer. I was raised by a single mom. We moved every single year of my life. I attended almost every school on this island. And it wasn't easy growing up, but we still felt like we had a lot. Like we had a lot of love. Our mom was there as much as she could. She would try to take us, out to the beach, which is free, on Sundays or on the weekends when she wasn't working. So we did have a good quality of life. But I feel like growing up, when you grow up without much money, it's hard for you to let it go or hard for you to spend it. And now this next generation is coming up, right? And maybe there's a lot of you guys on here. Tell me if you guys can relate that now, because you struggled, you have a good job, you are able to save, you're able to start investing, but now you might be at a crossroads of like, okay, how do I get my kids to start investing earlier? Because that's what, now you're at a place where maybe you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you have some extra funds. So where do you start with them? And I think that's super important. One, that you're even thinking that way, which I know you are following me or you're in my communities because you have that mindset of wanting to help the next generation, wanting to help people in your community, but also that you want to set them up the right way, because we were never really taught what the right way is. And everybody's situation is different, but there is some sort of outline that you can follow and some options that you can look at to know, okay, this option is right for me. Maybe this one, not yet, or maybe this one doesn't work for me. So, Junior said he used to fix mechanical pencils in elementary to make money. I know my son still loves mechanical pencils. They make him always use the number 2 pencil at school, and now kids nowadays, they're typing everything up. They don't really need to write or read cursive or anything like that. So times are changing. And I think most people are stuck in one pattern, especially when it comes to finances, especially when it comes to saving or investing. Now more people are learning about it. I think Jess said that she's already adding her kids as authorized users to her credit card accounts. She is telling them to use a high yield savings account instead of traditional savings. And that is something easy that you can do. And I preach on almost every live, because it doesn't take much risk on thinking outside the box, right? Of just changing an account. Maybe the bank you already have has a high yield savings account. Let them know you want to qualify for that. And I know I just did that with Bank of Hawaii. If you are local to here, but check at any of your local banks, wherever you're living at, where you already bank to see if they have a high yield savings account. So that is different than a CD, a certificate of deposit locks in your money for a certain amount of time. But there's high yield savings account where it's just like a regular savings. You can pull it out whenever you want, but you'll still earn more, way more than a regular savings. So I'm talking about like a regular savings. If you go and look at your regular savings account, how much you're earning. It's probably 0.01%. Like 0.01, like that is nothing. Or zero point 0.1, right? It's crazy. And the banks are lending your money out, car loans, other personal loans, between 5 to 10%. So I think they know that people are starting to catch on. So now they're creating high yield savings accounts where you can put in your money and get anywhere from 3 to 4%, which is a huge increase if you think about it. It's not a tremendous amount of interest, but it is, I mean, 1,000 times more than what you're getting now in your regular savings account. So if there's one thing you take away from this live is to go to your bank or call your bank, email your bank if you have that relationship, and ask them about if they have any promotions for high yield savings account, or if they have something like that at that bank. Yeah, financial education is crucial. Some people make good money but still feel stuck nowadays. Yeah, and that's fine. And I know there's also that what do you call it? Shiny object syndrome, right? Of like, oh my gosh, what should I do next? Or I heard about this. I seen this on TikTok, this on Instagram, this on the internet, and I don't know what's the next best step for me. So the high yield savings account is truly like a baby step that you can take to making your money make more money without, taking a lot of risk, which um, every investment is a risk, but when you're dealing with your bank, it is a lot more safer, I would say. And if they have a set interest, they pretty much stick to it. When you're investing in stocks, your retirement, even real estate, right? The markets go up and down and the values change with the market. So it's totally different. But like I mentioned in the beginning, most parents were never taught how to build wealth because they were either living paycheck to paycheck or just enjoying life, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, just enjoying your hard earned money. But if you want to build wealth for the next generation, you want to set your family up for the future, that's where this comes into play. And schools aren't really teaching investing. I heard, that some schools are going to start implementing some sort of financial education, which is awesome. But that is not their full responsibility, right? Is to teach your kids how to invest and how to save, because it is not a standard. And this is actually what we as parents need to be teaching our kids, and how we want them to save or invest, because we want to be the ones that are giving our kids financial advice that we had learned or that we know, versus a stranger or something they've seen on TikTok or Instagram that could be wrong. So I want you guys, if you haven't started just learning about different ways to set yourself up or set your kids up, just start learning it. YouTube, Google is free too. Hey, Jordan. There's so many different ways that you can learn. And then, of course, I have our Raise Rich Kids ebook. If you comment Rich Kids below, can send you the link. It's fairly cheap right now. I think we just released it a couple weeks ago. So it's $37, super cheap, but it gives you an outline for every age, what to do. Every chapter gives you action steps, like literally what to do and how long it will take you. Because I know some people too, they get overwhelmed, or they save a bunch of information, right? And are like, okay, I'm going to get back to this later when I have time. But that time never really comes. So this book gives you strategy, gives you an outline, gives you timelines for kids at different ages too, because what's right for a newborn baby, how to invest for them versus if they're already 16. Or there's different ways to start no matter what age they're at. And I think a lot of people think, uh, you know, maybe they're behind because they're lazy. And depending, and I know that's like not the way to phrase it, but sometimes we are, right? Like there are times when I don't want to do anything but just like lay on the couch and just zone out for a while or watch TV or, you know, do things that will just help me decompress. But you still got to get back on the train and maybe set a time limit for yourself on how long you're going to scroll, how long you're going to watch TV, how long you're just going to veg there, because we can't stay there. We got to get up, get moving. And working hard isn't enough anymore, right? Because I've been there and I've done that. I've worked hard. I've been at my engineering job, working 60 to 70-hour weeks, you know, exhausted, and I wasn't able to think about anything else outside of work. So for those who are in that position, I totally feel you. And it is hard to get out of it. But the more you just like, I know Junior's on here, but he works full time. He's listening to podcasts on our calls, even at work. Just keep surrounding yourself, even when you're in the car, listening to books. If you don't have time to read them, there's so many different ways that you can gain information and knowledge. But putting it on your calendar, putting it as something you do every single day will definitely help keep that pattern and make more time for it. So if you want the ebook, yeah, Jess, comment Rich Kids below and it should send to you. If not, click the link in my bio after this live and it'll take you right there. But I love it. It's helped so many people so far. Just make a outline and schedule and give them the action steps that they need to know, okay, I have to do this today, I'll do this tomorrow, or I can do it all in one day if you have the time, but it also gives you the timeline on it as well. So I think what actually changes a kid's or child's financial future is not just about making more money, right? I think we're in the generation where we know we're always taught you got to go to college, you got to get a degree, you get a really good job, and then you work until you die, basically. Or you're 67, right? And then your family will be set up because you'll have a good retirement. You'll have everything that you never had growing up, potentially if you grew up a little bit um rougher, I would say. So we're in this kind of new era where people are making a lot of money online. People don't need degrees anymore. Now AI is coming into play. So now it's like, okay, do we learn more? Where do we push our kids? Do we still push them to college? Do we push them to become entrepreneurs so that they have the potential to make more? Do we push them towards AI so that even if they are working a job or create their own business, they won't get um, basically put out of a job or put out of their company by AI? So I know there's a lot of that going back and forth and being integrated. But these strategies that we're teaching about how to raise rich kids comes with things that maybe AI might make easier for them, but it won't take it away from them. So like savings, right? Like AI can help you automate savings, and so can your bank account. Investing, credit, the financial education, that's all the foundation that they can start learning now. And even $25 a month can change the outcome over 10 to 20 years. You know, could end up to be hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on what they're investing in. So these small habits right now, that creates generational impact, whether that's you investing on their behalf, whether that's them starting to invest some of their allowance, or my son, what I do now, we have 17 rentals. We own RV parks with partners, office buildings, apartment buildings and things like that. So if it's I've grown over time on the real estate side, but now I'm pulling back, selling some of my assets to now focus on more passive investing and on things that taking it back to the basics, especially for my kids, like my 10-year-old. I never used to go to my properties as much as I do now. And especially when my daughter was younger, I would go, we would do all the heavy lifting, we would paint the rentals, we would try to fix a lot of the things ourselves, but now we hire that out. So now that my son is getting a little bit older, I'm bringing him back to the properties, doing a little bit more hands on. Like we have a washer that and dryer at one of our units that is coin operated at one of our small multifamily units. And so he will empty out the quarters, and uh, that will be basically his own money. And then we teach him there's a portion that he sets aside for um what's it called? I want to say for church, but for giving, basically. So for charity, giving it to something. It doesn't need to necessarily be for church, but if there's any other kids or even at the checkouts at the grocery stores, they have the donation bin. So we have him set aside a portion for that, set aside a portion for investing that he puts in his high yield savings account, and then a portion for spending. So he loves candy, he loves to buy toys. We just went to Top Shot this weekend, which is on Maui. It's a new place where you shoot guns at each other. I don't know, enclosed area. Anyway, it was nice because he was able to use some of his money for snacks and just teaching them early on the importance of knowing that money can be more than just earning it and spending it, but it can help you in the long run, even no matter what age you are. And so there's some simple systems any busy parent can use to start. So like we talked about earlier, there's high yield savings accounts, brokerage accounts for long-term growth. So those are kind of retirement accounts like Roth IRAs. And really what makes this even better is when you can utilize some strategies to make it a tax-free income for them when they retire. So that's what I talk about in my ebook. Comment Rich Kids below if you want that as well. And we're just wanting to have some real conversations with our kids, right? About money. So they're not scared of it, not scared to talk about it, not scared to ask you questions about it. And I know when I was growing up, we never talked about money. We always talked about how much money we didn't have, but we never talked about ways, to invest it once we did have money. And it definitely helped me to learn how to save. But now I'm teaching more people how to be able to invest it, to grow it without trading your time for money. So, like I mentioned, the Raise Rich Kids ebook we just put together, and right now it's still May, so it's on sale for $37. A quick step by step. It's not crazy complicated. It's simple and built for busy parents or soon to be parents, or even aunties and uncles that want to help set up their nieces and nephews or their family members, or even for you to get started if you haven't even started your journey yet on transitioning to building wealth. And so it gives you actionable steps in the next 90 days. And I wish someone had given me this years ago that I could have started implementing, had the step-by-step guide. It gives you a timeline. It gives you everything you basically need to start setting up your kids now. And I know that most parents were never taught how to build wealth, but these small systems and small steps, you don't have to make huge life changes. And for me, that's what I had to do in order to change the trajectory of my life. But for those who are working, who are, wanting to just get their feet wet a little bit and just learn something and start implementing even something like savings, even something like high yield savings account, or even a retirement account if you don't have one yet. Just learning those simple steps and having intention behind it, that's all you really need to start setting up the next generation or even yourself to get ahead, because it all comes down to not only how much money you make, but where you put it too and how you invest it. So the book is called How to Raise Rich Kids, and it's the Busy Parents Blueprint for Generational Wealth. And it breaks down everything in a very simple, easy way to follow and actually use. So I know there's a lot of things you can learn online. There's so much information out there, but a lot of times we need a blueprint. We need an outline. We need, hey, do this. This is how much time it takes. This is when you can set aside the time. Here's how you keep yourself accountable, because we have all the information in the world. But if we don't have some sort of system or accountability, then it's hard for us to actually implement these steps. So if you're a parent, auntie, uncle, soon to be parent, and want to build wealth, something better for your kids, comment Rich Kids below and I can send you the link. Or if you're on Instagram, it's a link in my bio, or you can go to zashasmith.com as well. ZASHA Smith.com. So this even helped just a little bit. Please share this live with some parents that need to see it. Another parent who's thinking about investing in a kid's future. And follow me here on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where I share simple wealth building strategies for families just like yours. So thank you guys for joining again today. I do this once a week. Thanks, Junior. Thanks, Henry. Do this once a week. And if there's anything else you guys can think of, any questions you have, whenever you see me go on live, make sure you ask them in the chat. Let's just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so Love D says, my son turned 10 last week and he's interested in investing in the stock market. Any recommendations on where to start or how to guide him? Yes, so I mean, you can literally type that into ChatGPT. You can, or Claude, if you have Claude now, you can Google it too, or you can purchase my ebook. And we go over what age brackets are good for certain type of investments. Now, the stock market is a little bit different depending if he wants to, he's looking for short-term gains versus long-term. So for me, building wealth in the long term is more important right now. And that's what the ebook is geared towards, building long-term wealth. So if that is if he's so interested in that type, or you want that type of investing for him, definitely the book is a great place. Now, when it comes to short-term investing, like when you're investing in the stock market, or, there's Webull, Robinhood, all these shorter term, apps where you can buy individual stocks, sell them at the same time. But really, truly, this is about building wealth for the long run. And so that's kind of the focus of it. So just to be clear, but I think it's great. He wants to start investing in the stock market. He should start with his retirement and look at it as a long-term play and not something that he can to build active income right now, unless that's something that he really wants to get into. But I always say, we were never taught to look at the long term. We're always looking at the short term. How can we make a quick buck? How can we make money right now so that we can buy what we need right now? And that's fine too. But we want to start building wealth for the next generation for a long-term income. So with that, thanks, Love D. Let me know if you have any other questions. Message me as well. Click the link in my bio. I'll see you guys here next Tuesday. Hui hong. Bye.